Hello and welcome to the end of season review for the youngsters. I was promising you a stats show, so I'm not the biggest believer in stats the way Chris and John will go through them, but just to give a little overview of how it all started and where we are now. I initially come to Paul back in October. I actually know Paul and Chris through trying to get Redmen TV on a local TV station, which didn't work out, but I got back in touch a year or two later, and I come up with the idea of this show. Look at the youth, look at the lads on loan, look at the transfer people, and look at the social media thing. It is a magazine show, but for those of you who love your stats, we've got some stats today. So we'll look at the under-23s first, and just a quick overview of the season. There was a bit of disruption. There was a change in management. Mike Geraghty took responsibility of the under-23s as Michael Beale left to like Sao Paulo or something like that. Geraghty come in, and he's been doing a good job. We also had late in, was it January or April, we had a 2-year ban on signing domestic youth team players because we're tapping someone else up, essentially. That was the big news anyway. So the team itself, we are fast starters and strong finishers. 9 goals in the first 15 minutes and 10 in the last 15 minutes, which is good. The highlights, really, we had two 4-1 defeats on the bounce, and it looked like it would be a long season ahead for Liverpool, but we sorted it out. We only ended up conceding 26, which is the second lowest in the league, so defensively we were pretty solid, although for about 6 or 7 of those games, we did have Mamadou Sakho, and we did get 7 clean sheets all in all. And we went on to win 4 games on the bounce, so mixed results in October, then a torrid 2 months with just 2 wins in 7 games from December to February. Much like the first team in many ways. The highlights of the year was a 6-2 win over Spurs, a 6-2 win over Huddersfield, and a 5-1 win over Reading. On a personal note, my highlight was this. Me and a worldwide exclusive with Mamadou Sakho, whilst also interviewing Kevin Stewart. One of the lows was losing to Manchester United at home, a 93rd minute winner, which I was at, and it was just, hell of a game to lose. The general stats then, we played 22 games, 8 wins at home, 5 wins away. We didn't draw a single game at home, which is quite interesting, I think. So we're gung-ho, we're all or nothing. 3 losses, obviously, you got to sort out, and if you could just turn them into draws, then you'd be flying up the league. The goals against, as I've previously mentioned, 27 goals. That was the second lowest in the league, with 7 clean sheets, which is good. We failed to score 3 times, which is always a worry. You want to score in every game, but failing to score 3 times, it's not too shabby in a 22-game season. We went out of the Champions League kind of thing in a bit of it was like a drab effort, really, and I think the main thing about the under-23 squad, they were dissected, and a lot of the best players, Ben Woodburn's, Trent, they were moved up very rapidly in the ranks to the first teams. So you're losing your best players week in, week out, and you don't know. Saying that, they did have Lucas, they did have Danny Ings, they did have Sakho, they even had Dejan Lovren at one point, so they felt the benefits of the first team as well. We averaged about 100,000 people at Prenton Park. We averaged about 1,000 people at Prenton Park. And it must be hard for the players to get up for a game like that. But, they're still learning the trade. Player of the season, it has to be the man, the myth, the legend. It's Harry Wilson. 12 league goals, 6 assists, top scorer in the league. Actually, 3 penalties. So it's always a conundrum. Is he a top goal scorer because he's created the chances himself, or it's because he takes the penalties? But yeah, only 3 penalties. And 7 times he scored the first goal, which is vitally important in a game of football. It dictates what will happen for the rest of the game. Do you sit back? Do you counter, control possession and things like that? So fantastic year for Harry Wilson. He's the captain, of course. Would I like to see him in a bit more of the starting 11 for the main team, either coming on for 5 or 10 minutes would have been nice. The other key players, as we all know, Ben Woodburn, 8 goals, 4 assists, and then goes on to be the youngest ever scorer for Liverpool, 17 years old. What a guy, what a guy. Bright future ahead of him. Everyone, excuse me, everyone knows that. Other guys to watch out for. We had Ryan Brewster, who had 3 goals and 3 assists in 8 games. He just flew up the ranks from the under-18 straight into the under-23. So they're the lads to watch out for. They're the guys that get all the plaudits, as it were. But the other guys, the unsung heroes of the teams, we have Corey Whelan. He's represents Republic of Ireland. He defended. He played 12 games. Was pretty solid all season. Really got booked once or twice. But Jordan Williams, he's a Welsh defender. He's the real bad boy of the team. Got booked 4 times in 14 appearances. But mate, when you're playing centre back, and sometimes you got to throw that in there. Kev Stewart. As we mentioned, he's 23 years old and he's really good on the ball. We know defensively he's a good player. He's very good. At this age, I think he should be moving on. He should be getting first team football. He could walk into a bottom 10 side in the Premier League. With us getting Champions League football next season, will he get more game time? You'd like to think so, but I think at this age, just for Kev Stewart being a nice lad and showing loyalty to the club, I'd like him to be, I don't know, at a West Ham or Newcastle, him and Shelby, who knows. The Portuguese guy, Tony Gomez, he had a good start to the season. He was promoted to the under-23s, got a couple of goals, dropped off. He's still young. He was the most substituted player onto the pitch 8 times. So obviously the manager feels he can make an impact. Obviously Danny Ings as well, his career was cut short. His season, should I say. But 4 goals in 4 games before his injury. I'd like to see him go out on loan too. First choice goalkeeper, the Polish Kamil Grabara, 6'3", had a decent season. If we're getting Karius out on loan, get Danny Ward back. I don't really see a future for him there, but you're making up the numbers and he's making good experience. So all in all, it was a good season. We just couldn't quite cut it at the top level. We finished 3rd, Everton won the league, and you know what? If we can just take away that inconsistency, and if Liverpool do get a few first team squad members in, I can see the likes of Trent, the likes of Woodburn, they will really flourish, especially when we can't buy any players. They will flourish next season, and I can see us going on to win that. So a bright future ahead for the under-23s, I would like to think. For the under-18s, then, the story of the year, it began with 2 wins and then being thrashed 7-0 by Manchester City. After 2 losses, we went unbeaten in 11 games. We had 4 wins, 3 draws, and another 4 wins. So that is a lot of football to not be beaten, and that a brilliant run from them. But as I say, like the younger players we're getting drafted through, it just seems that when it comes to the end of the season, we couldn't cut it at the highest level. We got the general statistics up here, and as you can see, it's kind of the away form. 6 losses away from home. It's not good. If you can turn your losses into draws, I always say it's just not so much the points you gain, it's the points that the people around you don't gain. Yeah, so clean sheets, none away from home. It goes hand in hand, but yeah, the big story from the under-18s, as we all know, Steven Gerrard will be the under-18s manager, and that is what we like to see. Steven Gerrard, he said, it's not all about trickery and footwork and things like that. Sometimes it's about heart, it's about passion, it's about desire. You don't have to show off to show that you're a good footballer. The right pass and the right move and just the right amount of effort will prove that your team rises to the top. You don't have to do a skill every time you're on the ball. The guy to watch out for in the coming years, then, I would say, has to be Glenn McCauley. 16 goals in 17 games. The lad has been on absolute fire. Just got he's got ginger hair, not making any assumptions or any jokes about that. He does have a soul. He has a great soul, and he's got 2 great souls, 2 great feet, and he scores goals. So that could be a song, I don't know. Yeah, just he knows where the onion net is, and that's what you just got to go for. We had Jan Dander, who was assisting him all the way. He had 7 goals and 8 assists himself. Got a little picture of him. Looks a bit like an Essex boy, I think, but you know. It is what it is. A very talented player. The pair of them go hand in hand. I think if you're going to have a good striker, you need good support and you need good, I don't know, just a good player to play with. Liam Coyle played the most minutes in 28 starts. He played over 2,500 minutes. He's the guy, he breaks up the attack. He's like the Kev Stewart of the under-18s. Only he's a scouser, so I've got a lot of love for him there. And you would always hope the likes of Trent and the likes of Liam Coyle are the guys to bring in this next generation. Just like the man in the stands is now the man on the pitch as well, and we've lost that in the last few years. So a lot of hope in him. Okita Simmons as well needs to get a mention. He had 5 goals in 22, but he hasn't really started all that many games. He's came on 12 times. I'm going to say 20 times. He came on 12 times, so obviously the manager thinks he can have an impact. And so Steven Gerrard will have a full season. That's how we can judge Steven Gerrard, if he is to like go on into the footsteps of Jurgen Klopp and things like that. This is where he cuts his teeth, and this is where we'll know, is Steven Gerrard cut out for it? Because you've seen players go into management, the likes of Ryan Giggs, the likes of Gary Neville, and it's just ended woefully, earning his stripes, starting from the bottom. And I like to see that. So it was a good season all in all. When it come to the final National League, 4 losses on the bounce, only 1 win in 7. It was not really the best of performances, but as again the team was gutted. It was the best players were taken out of it, and yeah, hopefully next season with Steven Gerrard's leadership and guidance, they can go on and they can win. It's just cutting in at that top. I think we finished where we should have really. I think it was 3rd, and yeah, just couldn't. Manchester City were like a bogey team for us, and we couldn't really cut it against the guys from down in London. So yeah, Steven Gerrard, big future ahead of him, and we've got Champions League, so a lot of these players will see their game time improve in the likes of the League Cup, you would like to think. What prospects do you think I should be keeping my eye out on this summer, and how do you think the season's gone with regards to the youth? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and we end on a bit of love. Thanks for watching all the Extra Time shows. One final stat: the Extra Time shows at the time of recording got 438,000 views. So thanks to each and every one of you for watching. I met a lot of the subscribers on a Sunday night, and it was nice to see. It was nice to it was nice to just see the weird and wonderful people. These people love the club. You make this show what it is. It's all about the fans. I've had a lot of stick. I've had a lot of love. It has been a laugh. It's been an absolute pleasure just to be myself, to entertain some of you, to annoy some of you, because you know what, fuck it, I'm not asked. Thanks for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and keep your eye out for all the content we've got coming up over the summer. Thank you.